YouTube crew, what it do? Big Sue back again here. I got kind of a different one. This is going to be a very educational video, but it's also going to be a potentially motivating video for people who are watching this channel and want to get into what we like to call as the high ticket remote sales space. I have a very, very special guest, and if you know anything about the high ticket space, this guy right here, you will know exactly who this is. It's the man, the myth, the legend himself, who is not only a great friend, but a great person in the space, Mr. Dylan Vergara. I'll let him introduce himself and just give you a quick rundown before we dive into things. I'm gonna introduce Dylan. He's just gonna give you guys a little bit of background on himself, and then we're gonna dive into this thing and give you guys the answers that you're looking for.
So, my name's Dylan. Nice to meet y'all. I am by nature probably the opposite of a sales guy, but when I was younger, coming out of school, I saw all the paths in front of me, and I was like, you know, one thing I care about more than being the shy dude is setting myself up, setting my people up, and so kind of put that aside. Learned sales, got into sales, did well, stacked skills alongside that, some marketing, some content, and just built from there. And now, you know, run a couple of businesses, but that's what we do.
He's a very humble in his answer. Guys, this dude is an absolute killer, and the information this dude knows and has in terms of experience as well, it's vast. It's, you know, second to none. So really the premise of this video, guys, is for anybody who's looking to learn more about high ticket, learn more about the remote sales space and how it has changed both of our lives. This is going to be a very, very informational video to help you kind of maneuver the space. And so we're gonna really dive right in and get down to the nitty gritty with this whole thing, guys. Dylan, to really kick us off, I wanna start with your journey. You know, exactly what got you into the space and really what led us up to where we are right now. And so I'll start off with, I guess, why did you get into the high ticket sales space?
Yeah, so I told you, I already said I was, you know, opposite of a sales guy, saw it as a vehicle, decided to commit. I got into roofing sales, was doing better than, honestly, a lot of the people I knew around me very quickly. And not because I was just good at sales. I actually wasn't even that good, but I worked hard and got better and showed up, like early mornings, late nights. And then I got to a point, and I don't think everyone's wired in this way, but I've always kind of been more like entrepreneurial, and sales is like a good stepping stone.
Sure.
But I got to the point where I was like, all right, man, I'm making good money. What don't I like about this scenario, and how do I fix it? Like, how do I get closer to the life that I actually want, money aside? And in roofing sales, I was pacing about 180K first year out of school, midway through the year, and I was like, well, I don't like driving around the city for half my day because,
Sure,
you know, I don't get paid to drive, I get paid to sell.
Yeah.
So there was that. I also was interested in finding something that I could take my skills and use them more worldwide, more location independent, I guess, not so much in a local city where I got to drive house to house.
Yeah.
And I kind of was looking around. I was looking at like tech sales. I was looking at, you know, real estate. Not really the case with the location thing.
Yeah.
And I had always been intrigued by the online money, like drop shipping, copywriting. I just never had the money or time or honestly knowledge to make it work up until that point. Saw these dudes doing the remote closing thing, and I was like, this is the perfect intersection. Squirrel has a nut in its mouth. I was like, this is the perfect intersection of like the online business, the freedom, the laptop lifestyle, and this skill that I've already proven to myself that I have. And, you know, once I kind of put that together, I couldn't unsee it, you know, and that's when I got in full time.
Super interesting, and especially coming from an industry where, dude, you're making almost 200 grand a year, and you're kind of going into a space that is a little bit of an unknown, almost like an abyss, could we say.
Yeah.
Give me kind of the rundown when you first did make that transition, especially making 180 grand a year. That's better than a poke in the eye. Like, what was your experience when it came to high ticket when you first got into it?
It was good, man. The space was a lot different back then. And transparently, when I got into it, man, I wasn't looking to go and make 30, 50 grand a month. I was looking, because I saved money. My expenses were so low intentionally, which I'd recommend for you guys coming up. I was looking for the lifestyle thing, man. Like I wanted the part-time, 100K, spend time outside. I was just looking at a photo of me from back then, and I was so tan, dude, because I was spending so much time outside, and I was taking like 3-4 calls a day.
Yeah.
But I intentionally I'm not gonna say I burnt out at roofing, but I was intentionally cruising. I was like, this is nice, man, laptop lifestyle.
Yeah.
Take it easy, take it slow, and when I want to turn it up, I can. So that's what it was like. At least like the first 6 or so months,
Sure.
It was like super chill for sure.
It's cool. So it's more or less, hey, we can wake up, drink a coffee,
Yeah.
hop on some sales calls, and make some money.
Hit the gym, go to the pool, walk. That's when I started like walking
Yeah.
a lot. Got super tan. But yeah.
What do you think about, especially, I want to pivot off of that question, especially when we talk about the laptop lifestyle. I feel like that's all you hear a lot about the space is, oh, you can work from anywhere, you go to the beach, you close deals. Like, what are your thoughts on the laptop lifestyle kind of term, should we say?
It depends, man. Even with what I do now, I kind of call it a lifestyle business. It does decent, and I don't have to work 80 hours a week doing it. I like it, but it's controversial because my definition might be different than the average. A lot of people think laptop lifestyle in the closing sense. They want to make 30K a month taking 2 calls a day. It's just sometimes unrealistic.
Yeah.
But to make closing wise, to make 5 to 10 taking 3-4 calls a day, totally doable.
Yeah.
And when you as long as you don't have too many meetings, trainings, if you are just looking at calendar time, like calls taken, 3-4 calls, 3-4 hours max, if you're closing good, you got good leads, like it can be a sweet gig, dude.
Sure. So you're saying for the people, if we're going to make it anywhere from 10 to 15, maybe cruise around there monthly, you're not going to be spending 80 hours a week on the laptop.
Nah, but there's a difference. Like, we know a lot of people in this space. There's a lot of different kind of 10K a month roles. There's a lot of different 15K a month roles.
Sure.
It can be 80 hours. It can also be 20. So
Yeah.
it really does. I mean, probably get into it more. It comes down to the offer for sure.
Cool. Well, obviously, Dylan, on top of you getting into the space, really pivoting your mark and paving your own way within this space, you've really went from the closer lifestyle into the business owner. And for those of you who don't know, this guy has made and generated multi 7 and 8 figures within this space. And I guess what sparked the idea to really start a community on top of closing and kind of, make that pivot into that area?
I had a lot of people asking me the same question. So when I broke into the space, I actually was posting on Twitter about me and roofing sales. If you go way back, maybe you look up at Serial Sales Roofing, you'll find some stuff.
Sure.
But I was documenting the transition from roofing into remote because I knew that this social media presence would help me land jobs in the future. And so through doing that, I had people naturally catch on, like, hey, he actually did this. He's actually making money. And I was always I still am, like, super active in the DMs. Like, someone hits me with a question, they're cool, like, I'll answer. And I had the same stuff, and so I was like, let me make like a group kind of thing here. And threw together a Slack channel, $9 per month, just to have some sort of buy-in, just to make sure there's no absolute rubbish in there.
Yeah.
And it was just an easier way to answer the questions.
Right.
Really. So.
And I want to move on to like the reality of the space and everything too, in terms of just like what people should expect. But to kind of end off the topic of your backstory, did you think with the Slack channel and starting small like you did you think it would blow up and turn into something like you have now?
No clue, dude, because I didn't. When I had done that, there were other people in the space that were doing multi-6 figures a month, doing the same thing. And I wasn't trying to be those people. I never thought I could get close to those people. But I just kept doing it, kept making the product better, charge more when we added more. And yeah, I think just putting one foot in front of the other, but I did not expect it to kind of go how it's gone. We're 3.5 years deep now, so.
Well, it's compounded, and it sure as hell has produced some awesome fruits of the labor, for sure. Well, obviously, we've got an awesome backstory. Dylan has come a long way, especially from the roofing sales side of things, but let's talk about the space itself and get into more of the reality of high ticket and what people can expect getting into this space. You've been around many different offers. You've seen offers come and go. You've placed hundreds of reps on different offers. What, in your opinion, is the biggest misconception of the high ticket sales space in general?
Keep it super broad. A lot of people think it's easier than it actually is, most likely because of the perception that some of these sales trainers, influencers, if you'll call them, the way they advertise the opportunity, I think, sets really improper expectations. At the end of the day, it's a sales job. It's a remote sales job that gives you a little bit more freedom if you're in the right opportunity. There's always going to be people at, far ends of the spectrum in terms of like hours put in and money earned, and then also like the unfortunate side of that, which is a lot of hours, not that much money.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think generally speaking, a lot of people are propped up to believe it's easier than it actually is.
It's a great answer, because I've really echoed the same exact thing, especially just from my perspective after meeting you and going through the process itself. Is it's still a job.
Mm-hmm.
It is still a job. It's not a W-2, but you're still employed, and it is not like you snap your fingers and all of a sudden we have $100K banked away and it's just that easy. So I definitely can agree with you. Let's talk about, in terms of the work itself. Okay, obviously we hear 10K a month, 20K a month, 30K a month, all these big numbers, and people, there's the big spectrum of it and then there's the smaller spectrum of it. Realistically, on average, what would you say is what is a realistic income path for somebody in the space for the first 6 to 12 months if they really do put in the work?
Yeah, I think it depends what their background looks like and how much time they're willing to put towards it. The biggest thing we see kind of dictate that is the schedule availability. The next biggest thing is probably sales background or what the background looks like. If you're coming into this with barely any work history, maybe you're a young dude, college kid, or you've just been working some like random pizza delivery job or something.
Sure.
Dude, it's not unrealistic to make in the ballpark of like 4 to 8. 8 is going to get you, you're going to have to grind to get on a good offer, but you know it. Appointment setters, even when you did it, or like people we know, you can get to like 8 and above with a little elbow grease, right?
For sure.
If you're coming into this with a sales background, like you've been maybe in corporate space, you've been in like insurance door to door, again, there's so many factors that play into it, but 5 to 10 is super conservative, assuming you get on a good offer. I'll even throw like the 7.5 to 12.5 range in there. If you're coming with a closing background, you can sell yourself. It's not unrealistic, but nobody can promise that to you. That's a big thing to point out. Anyone who's going to like promise you that you hit a certain income at a certain time, like unless they're applying to jobs for you, interviewing for you, sending Loom videos for you, working the job for you, they can't guarantee that. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Guys, there's no guarantees. Okay, you see any OTE, if you don't know what that is, it's on target earnings. That's just a potential of what you could earn. But if someone says you are guaranteed to make 20K, 10K a month, raise the red flags a little bit. It's not going to be guaranteed, but there is a potential for it.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, just speaking of people with sales experience, getting into the space, what's realistic for somebody, who should not get into high ticket sales? Like, who would you kind of, stray away from getting into high ticket sales in the remote sales space?
Yeah, well, I want to set the precedent that I think as long as you have good English, good Wi-Fi, and time, this is possible for you.
Yeah.
So knowing that, who should not get into this? Someone who's looking for something like super easy, want to take a lazy approach, you could probably do okay, but I don't know. At the end of the day, like there's a lot of other things that you can separate your time from earnings.
Yeah.
So someone who's lazy, honestly,
Yeah.
you could probably just do something else. We might need to edit these.
We'll be good.
Okay. Oh yeah, it's the mic. It doesn't.
Yeah.
All right. Play.
Play.
What was I gonna say? Oh, someone who has like a lot of pressure, like financial responsibility,
Sure.
with a short runway. There's a lot of other things. Like if your priority number one is stability, go do something else. Like, yes, you can get this to a stable point. You can meet the right people, get in the right offer, start seeing really consistent income. But if you're like, man, within a month, if I don't figure something out and bring home $8,000, we're going to be homeless. Just go get a job. So someone who's lazy, someone who has a lot of financial pressure, maybe not too much runway. Those are really the main two things, man.
So good pieces of advice, especially with what you said. If you are afraid of losing that stability in a way, definitely probably shouldn't be for you, because I mean, I'm not the only person in the space that's ever experienced it, but it can go up and down. It can go up and down. There's reps that make $20,000 3 months in a row. All of a sudden, lead flow dies. The offer shits the bed. Hey, they're making $2,000 a month, and it just goes from ceiling to floor so fast. So I think that is a really good piece of advice. Now, your bread and butter. Obviously, you've been a closer. You've ran offers. You've got your own offer. You've been in an agency where you've managed massive offers, but your bread and butter is finding jobs for people, getting people to land these remote sales jobs. Now, with all the experience you have up to this point, what would you say, especially for people who are new getting into the space, what is like the biggest mistake these people make when trying to find their first sales role in the online space?
They just accept anything. Like they send out a few applications, they get someone who's interested in them. They don't really do too much due diligence on the role because they don't understand how.
Yeah.
And they just take a blind leap of faith into something that they don't understand. And when you do that, let's say you are making money in another job, sales job, doesn't really matter. If you do that, you jump into a commission-only role that is propped up to be something that it's not. Not only are you wasting your time, but you're actually the opportunity cost of stepping away from the job that's paying you, or not being in something that is a 5K a month, 10K a month role. When it's all said and done, you try out an offer for a week. It's not that great. You bring it up to them, the management. They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna fix this, this, and this. Just hang on for a little bit. 2 weeks goes by. Now you're 3 weeks in. You're like, all right, this isn't changing. You kind of try to talk to someone like me, someone like you.
Yeah.
You're on the fence of quitting. Before you know it, a whole month has gone by. Not only did you not make any money, you probably lost money because you still got to pay to live.
Yep.
And so it gets pricey, man, to get on bad offers. And also, it burns you out, dude, because if that's your first experience or an experience that you have more than once, no wonder people are going to think it's like a scam or it's not real. Like,
sure.
You got to learn how to do due diligence. That is the biggest mistake for sure.
So don't get the glossy eyes where you're excited to get into a role and you just want to accept something. Just make sure you do your due diligence and find the right information and the right people to vet that offer.
Yeah, and what we were talking about, dude, super simple way to avoid this situation. Don't join a team based on hopeful projections. Join a team because of data and what is happening right there, or right now, right there, without you. And then you got to run the numbers based on if you were to join that situation exactly as it is. How does that change things? So
sure.
Yeah, don't let someone sell you on an opportunity that's not backed by numbers.
Follow the numbers, guys. Follow the data, and all will be revealed. Yeah. Now, speaking of offers, speaking of landing your first role, your second role, Like when it comes to providing value to an offer owner, because obviously not everybody getting into the space is going to be a 4-year veteran experienced closer with 2 million cash collected. Like, these people are brand new. When it comes to finding brand new roles and what you've seen, what offer owners seen, what are they looking more for? Are they looking more for the tried and true backed experience? Or can someone come in and land a good role if they're a great culture fit, they've got an awesome attitude, and this person is just like a key fit, they just don't have the numbers to back it up?
Yeah, for roles that are sometimes 10K, but 15K and up, they are looking for someone experienced.
Okay.
But for any of those entry level, any of the appointment setting roles, sometimes entry level closing, but mostly appointment setting, dude, they just want a dog. Like, as
Sure.
long as you can form a sentence and represent their company well. I've been saying this a lot lately. Yeah, they want a good sales rep, but more important than a good sales rep, they want a good employee.
Yeah.
And so think of, what makes a good sales rep? Well, you can handle objections, you can get people past their limiting beliefs. But what makes a good employee is showing up on time, having a good attitude, holding yourself together, showing up to all the meetings, motivating the team. Like, that is a lot more helpful to the team dynamic than someone who can just handle a spouse objection and collect some cash, So unless we're talking like top percentile closing,
Yeah.
you can really like vibe your way into a good opportunity.
100%.
And they'll value that for sure.
Yeah. That's a really good answer, actually, because I've experienced that personally.
Yeah.
When I got on $1 million a month offer in the short-term rental space, I was not very experienced, maybe 2 months in the game.
Yeah.
I had been on, an offer where I set for a month, and I was starting my cold calls, and all of a sudden, just due to good energy, just competent speaker, but also just showing up with a go-getter attitude, it worked very well in my favor, even without the experience, and it allowed me to make some good money. And so that's a really good piece of advice for people who don't have the experience in terms of numbers. Now, let's say somebody is on an offer, and outside of just collecting cash and getting the business money in the door, how can someone be as valuable as possible to an offer owner outside of just bringing cash into the door?
I think this is also going to help you kind of progress yourself as a individual contributor, but just taking ownership over as much as you possibly can. So if I'm an appointment setter and I have a job to set appointments, to qualify appointments, I'm going to start looking around the edges of the role and see, how these other things actually affect
Sure.
what I'm able to do. And can I have any say in how certain things happen, pre-call sequences or the booking form, so that we get better information, so our closers can do better. And just taking, coming to meetings, bringing ideas and doing research, right?
Yeah,
Make
yeah.
sure you're not just pulling it out of, down there.
Right.
And yeah, man, just start taking ownership. If you work on a team and you are more of a top performer, help the other people on the team.
Sure.
Just give whatever you can. That's of value. I think also being someone that shows up consistently month over month over month, most people aren't doing that. And so giving the manager or the business owner peace of mind that this part of their business is completely taken care of.
That's good.
Not having to be babysat.
That's good.
That is going to go and let them do other things that in return make you more money.
100%.
Right? So giving them peace of mind and then just giving whatever you can,
Love it. Go the extra mile.
Yeah.
Be the go-getter to do the things that you're not even supposed to do outside of the deliverables you're supposed to give the offer owner. And so
Yeah.
that's really good. And man, these are some fire answers, Dylan, especially with all the experience you have. And I want to kind of transition into the later part of this video in the future of the space, because high ticket's been around for some time. It obviously has been around. People have made a whole lot of money. People come and go. People come and stay. Give me kind of your rundown of where you think the high ticket sales space will even be in the next 5 years.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot different. There's a lot of things that play into that, but I think it's going to be big. I think it's going to be bigger than it is because think of just like general population, man. People are starting to catch on that college doesn't actually guarantee you anything.
Agreed.
College is the biggest biz op with no guarantee
Dude,
ever.
it's a huge scam.
I mean, I'm not saying don't go to college, but I'm just saying there's a lot of people, man, that they go get these awesome degrees,
Yeah.
and then they're 2 years into their career and they're like, I do not like this, man,
Yep.
but I'm $80K in debt, you know? So the general public is starting to catch on that, hey, man, these people posting content have it pretty good.
Yeah.
What's the best way to monetize content? Not brand deals, because, I mean, it depends on your niche, but most of the time, you got to have massive audience to get anything worth, sacrificing a job for when it comes to brand deals.
Right.
People are starting to build online digital products, communities. They're starting to monetize their audience, showing their expertise. Like, we went on a run yesterday. If you really wanted to, dude, you could make a full-blown business off of running.
100%.
Like, there's nothing stopping you. Obviously, there's some time and some sweat equity that has to go into it. But, like, normal people have the ability to build a remote business that they completely own, and they can do it alongside their tech sales job or the job that they don't like. And so it's like, as these creators start making more and more products and services, there comes a point where you don't want to be the sales guy, and there's going to be opportunity there. I mean, you've seen also, and maybe whoever's watching this, maybe, Alex Hormozy, what they're doing with school, things like WAP and fan bases, like, it's becoming more accessible. People are becoming more dissatisfied, and I just think it's going to grow. There's this like looming threat over sales altogether with the whole AI stuff, and I think low-level, super repetitive tasks will be kind of outsourced by AI.
Sure.
But, dude, I think we're a far ways away from, like, face-to-face, like, human interaction, closing. Like, people don't trust AI.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'm not really too worried about that, to be honest.
I think you hit the nail on the head, too. I think in terms of just sales in general, it's going to be, we probably won't even be around until it's replaced by AI. And so I definitely agree. And people are waking up. They really are. The corporate world is starting to realize, maybe I don't want to slave away for somebody else and start my own thing. And this is a great space to do so and put you in that opportunity. Now, this leads me into my next question, because it is getting bigger. People are waking up and seeing the opportunity within this space. And we hear the word saturation all the freaking time. This industry is saturated. This is saturated. What do you think about the buzzword of saturation in terms of the high ticket space?
I love it. Any kind of sales role is competitive.
Yeah.
So I'm not even talking about high ticket. If you aren't going to step into a sales role looking to compete, go be an engineer. Go code things.
Yeah.
But in the high ticket space specifically, because it is commission based, I mean, I just see it as signal, man. Like, there's all these people over here. It might be a good reason, And I'm kind of like this, despite not being traditional sales guy. I've always kind of been a competitor, and I think, dude, if you're intimidated by the fact that there's a lot of people doing something and that might make it harder for you, you're not the type of guy that's going to excel in this anyways. So there's layers to that, right? But in terms of a sales job, man, there's a lot to go around.
Do you think that's why athletes are some of the highest achievers within the remote sales space?
Yeah, athletes and ex-military, consistently the best.
Yeah.
Because we work with a lot of people, man, that are super smart. They come from backgrounds such as engineering.
Right.
And unfortunately, our boy Diego is always talking about this, dude. Too smart for their own good.
100%.
There's a component, there's like a risk tolerance that you need to be able to accept when getting into the high ticket space, that these super, super smart people, and I kind of lean in this like analytical direction, they can't allow themselves to fall into it and see it through. And so if you, as an athlete, as someone in the military, can just show up and do the inputs, like think of practice. Like you show up to practice.
We're talking about practice.
5 days a week, man. Like the super analytical brain is like, they're thinking of excuses, right? They're thinking of reasons why it wouldn't work. And so athletes and military, I don't know what it is besides that, but they just crush it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, guys, what I'm hearing is just be a dog and you'll never have to worry about saturation.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Absolute fire. Got a couple more questions here, and we'll kind of wrap things up here because we've talked about your backstory. We've talked about really the reality of the space. We've talked about how to find roles, what's best, and just the future of it. Now, I have 2 more questions for you, and this first one is going to be, if you could go back to the first day in high ticket sales, when you first found the space, got into it, what is the biggest piece of advice you would give your younger self starting out in this space?
Get connected to other people that are doing it. I talk about this concept of the 2 circles in my community. Basically what that is if you can find 5 people that are right alongside you, getting into this, pushing, applying to jobs, taking interviews, meeting people, and 5 people who are a couple steps ahead of you, and you nurture those relationships, you stay in touch, and you become known as a high value person to have in the network, that's your insurance policy.
Yeah.
So my biggest thing, and I did this, but you can always do it more, is it's not the sales training. It's get connected to people that are taking this seriously, because that's how you find the best offers. That's how, when your offer starts to shit the bed, that's how you get on a better offer.
Right. Make the jump.
So yeah, just meet people.
So your network is your net worth. 100%. Love it. Now, speaking of getting connected and finding those individuals who are in the same place as you or even above you, how can somebody, this is my last question of this entire interview, is how can somebody find an avenue to get into this space? Where would you lead them to?
Should I tell them about?
Yeah, that's where I'm.
Okay. So, I mean, we run a community-based business. It's we call it a community, but there's a front-loaded service in that, in working with people like small group or one-on-one, to like ramp them up to being a seriously considered applicant, no matter the experience. And so we're really big on expectation setting. You know, someone comes in with no sales background, we're not going to tell them that they're going to make $20K in the first month. But if you're looking for like a fast-tracked way to just cross all your T's, dot all your I's, and make sure that you don't have any blind spots, that you truly are giving yourself the best shot to be considered into something serious, that's what we're going for. You know, there's a lot of people out there that will guarantee income or guarantee a job placement. And the way I think of it is, like, you've heard the analogy, give a man a fish, feed him for a day, teach a man to fish, feed him for life.
Sure.
We're trying to teach people how to fish. So between the community, getting connected, like I mentioned, the 2 circles, getting connected with people who are where you're at and ahead of you, and then also having that tailored service, like unique to you, not some one-size-fits-all course. You're really, if you're serious about this space, you're really mitigating as much of the downside as you possibly can. You know, it's still commission only, you still have to perform, but my hot take on this is the hard part is not selling. The sales training is commoditized. There's hundreds of hours online for free from the best in the world. Go watch it. The hard part is landing in the offers where they're driving good leads, inbound leads, because they're competitive, you know?
Facts.
Yeah, our community is the place.
Awesome. Well, guys, that's all we have for you today. Not sure what we got on time here, but man, this has been an absolute awesome interview. Dylan, extremely appreciative for you to even sit down, take the time, and give the people what they need to hear, especially just the whole 9 yards of everything. I'm appreciative just for you in general. You've changed my life, and you've changed hundreds of other people's lives. And guys, I will put Dylan's socials. I'll put a link to his community down below. If you truly do want to get connected with some of the best people in this space and fast track your way to true success within this space, get around the right people. Hit me up, hit Dylan up. There is an absolute world outside of what you might even know of high ticket, and it is an awesome, awesome world too. And so, Dylan, again, thank you so much for sitting down, taking the time. I'll plug everything down below.
Yeah.
If you guys liked this video, be sure to drop a comment below, hit that subscribe button, and make sure if you or any of your friends you know want to get into the high ticket sales space, drop a share to this video for them so they can come check it out. And in the next one, we'll see you guys later. Peace.